Hi everyone, hope you're well. Hope you're enjoying your day and everything's going brilliantly for you. Um, Remember, you can always subscribe to these podcasts and make sure you get updated whenever we upload a new one. If you do that, and if you ever want to support Brain Dojo, then you can go to Patreon and click on various ways to help support the podcast and all the other stuff that we do. Right. So, what do I want to talk about today? Well, I wonder, do you think your subconscious feels less good than it could do because it knows that you could be doing better? That's a deep question, isn't it? All right. So what I'm saying to you is, subconsciously, we all have an idea of what we're capable of and what what we're capable of, really, how we could be operating, how we could be interacting with people and all of those things. So, because we know this, because some part of us knows what we're capable of, then maybe our subconscious is a little bit edgy, a little bit unsettled, because it's thinking you're not doing what you could be doing. You're not achieving what you could be achieving. You're not interacting the way you could be interacting. And it's an interesting question, isn't it? I often think to myself, well, what does my subconscious think? I mean, your subconscious knows you pretty well, doesn't it? It knows everything about you. Is it thinking you could be trying harder, you could be being kinder, you could be being healthier, you could be being more compassionate? There are a whole load of things that our subconscious knows about us that we may deny on a superficial level. We could say, if someone says to you, "Oh, you could be a bit healthier. You could eat healthier." No, 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 no. Yeah, and you can make all the protests that you like um, on a conscious level, but deep down, you know whether you could be doing this. And again, the last thing that I want to do is put people into a hand-wringing, worrying situation that they're not good enough, they're not doing well enough, and their whole life is a sham or a farce. Well, goodness no, I wouldn't want you to think that. But our subconscious, whatever the right word is, our subconscious is a really useful tool. And if we plug into it sometimes and try to work out what it's actually trying to tell us, then we can be better people. And I'm only telling you this because I think that it's an option for all of us. I'm certainly not saying I listen, therefore I'm better. Ha ha ha! I'm better than you. There's no way I'm saying that. But what I am saying is, when I was made aware of this, I paid a bit more attention to my subconscious. I noticed if it was easy or uneasy or happy with the way I am. And I realized that lots of little niggling frustrations that used to be sitting here at the back of my brain are now just completely dissolved and just allow me to get on with life and enjoy life more. So it's quite a simple question, isn't it? Do you ever think to yourself, or do you ever have this niggling thing that, well, I could have done that better. I could have. Now you might be thinking to me, yeah, I do. Well, hurry up and tell me how to make it better. Well, it's a very simple thing. Again, take some action. You don't have to fix everything in one go. You don't have to change from being unhealthy to super healthy in one moment. You don't have to shift from being unkind to the kindest person in the world in one day, one moment, one single action. Just begin to work on things. Notice the things that you would prefer to be, do, and have. Mainly be and do, I think, in this case anyway. And start to work towards them. Make some change immediately. Even if it's a tiny, really small thing. make a small change and take a step towards the way that you would prefer to be. If you, I like to use the word prefer. Which would you prefer? Which would you prefer about yourself? Which would you prefer to have as a fact about yourself? I would prefer to be a kind person than an unkind person. I would prefer to be a healthy person. Right. So, let's begin to work on these. Let's make some movement today towards the thing that I would prefer. And I think some people worry about getting advice from other people all the time. They'll say, "Well, I don't know how to do it, therefore I won't start. I won't begin." And really, that's a bit of a cop out. Nobody knows you as well as you know you. Sometimes people know things generally that may apply to you, and that's a useful thing to do. And hopefully, some of these podcasts fall into that category. I might know something from experience about a situation or about something that may be useful to you that I can share with you that you think, oh, that might be useful. But nobody knows you like you and how you can put that into place in your life. So you are the expert, the absolute expert on yourself. And I know it's tempting to deny it. You can say, well, no, I'm a mystery to me. I don't think that's true. You probably know yourself really well. And all you need to do is to start to work on it, start to push towards it. And I know sometimes that I'm guilty of almost setting up this subconscious dissatisfaction with oneself. If I have a student, if I have students that train with me, and let's say they have trouble concentrating, and I'll say to those students, yeah, I see you have trouble concentrating. You may have a diagnosis of ADHD and all of these things, and I am sympathetic. However, if you want to make some change to the situation you find yourself in, then you have to begin to do it. You have to take some action. You have to say, I will start to change that. And let's use concentration as an example. I'll get them to do something simple like find a clock with a second hand, a sweep hand that goes around every minute. And I'll say to them, all right, let's look at the clock and try to focus only on that second hand for as many seconds as you can. So think only about that second hand. You might think the second hand is red. It's moving clockwise, obviously. It's moving around a second at a time. Yeah, I can see those things. And you don't have to say these things out loud, but you're focusing only on that second hand. And then as soon as some other thought creeps into your head, boom, well, that's your time up. See how many seconds it was, and start again. Now, don't spend hours and hours doing this. This will drive you crazy if you do. Just do it for a little bit at a time. And what's happening is you're gradually training your brain to focus in on the thing that you're pointing your brain at. And it's really useful because training your mind to stay focused on one thing is doable. It can really improve. It can really get better. We often have all sorts of games at the classes for kids to help them do this. Well, kids and adults to do this. One of the things that I do sometimes, I've set it as a class of 10 people in. Then I'll take each person out of the class one at a time, and I'll say to them, right, there are 10 people in that class. There are 2 instructors. So, including yourself, tell me everyone's name. Right, so let's start with you. You're number 1. So you're Fred, say. Go through the list, pay attention, and tell me who's in that class. Now, I don't know what you would think. You might say, oh, everyone would know everyone. But that isn't so. People sometimes can't remember the names that are in that class. And it's not that they don't know the names of everyone in that class, because as soon as you open the door and show them the class, they go, oh, so-and-so and so-and-so. I'd forgotten them. I didn't think of them. Okay. But this is a really simple mind training exercise to help you to pay attention, to notice what's going on around you, and to work on that recall as well. So anything like this is really useful, and I advise you to do it. All right, so and that's just an example for concentration. I mean, we all have all sorts of challenges in all types of areas of our life. So, that particular exercise won't fix all of them. And it may not fix concentration, but it may help you to be more aware and be a little bit more, aware. Aware is the word. Good. All right. So let's quickly have a summary. Does your subconscious say to you, you could be doing better? Does that bother you? Is it a niggling thing at the back of your mind? If it doesn't, then why bother to do anything about it? If it's happening and it doesn't bother you, then so. But if it does bother you and you want to do something about it, take some action. Do simple things. If you really can't think of what to do, why not pop a question in the comments thing below, and maybe somebody else will come up with a suggestion, or maybe I'll have a suggestion, or whatever. Let's make this a nice interactive forum so we can all try and help each other. All right, but think about it. Does your subconscious make you feel uneasy because it knows you could be doing better? I'll leave you with that.